What's going on, guys? Boss6 here, back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing Raw that just happened, and yeah, this was a show. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about the show, and also, my voice is a lot better than when it was earlier. So yeah, without wasting any time, we're in Long Island, New York, and we're on the road to day one. That's going to be happening on New Year's Eve in a few months, or not a few months, in a few weeks. So anyways, Rollins comes down and he announces that he's going to be cashing in his little contract that he won in a ladder match against Big E at day one. Okay? Balor shows up and they kind of show recaps of they were supposed to have a match last week, but that didn't happen because Rollins attacked Balor. And that's when that guy that thankfully is arrested attacked Rollins and that whole shebang went down. And thankfully Rollins is okay. So then Finn attacks Rollins. We get a sling blade outside. The steps are getting used. Then the match starts. Dive outside. This is a pretty good match. They've had better matches, but it was still a good match. Superplex into a Falcon Arrow, which is always nice. Rollins goes for a frog splash, but knees are up. Sling blade to Finn. Finn goes for like the version of 1916, but Rollins a thumb to the eye. Then elbow to the neck, stomp, and 1, 2, 3. Rollins wins. Okay, not to a half bad start. Then we get a recap of Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan last week, where Becky's talking about you have no friends anymore. And then Lynch comes down, and then we cut to Vince McMahon and Austin Theory backstage. Vince, you need a can of lemon pledge. Where's the lemon pledge? And he's talking to Theory about, the golden egg that Theory won last week. Oh, yeah, by the way, there was a whole thing at Survivor Series where whoever found this golden egg, they would get a title shot. Because apparently, if you find a golden egg, wish it would come true. Tried that once. That didn't happen. I'm not talking about it. But anyways. Basically, expect the unexpected. So then, Becky Lynch and Liv Morgan contract signing. Well, this goes well. Liv basically brings up the budget cuts because Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan aren't there. I lost my friends because of your big contract. And, talking about how Becky cried after Survivor Series because of her match with Charlotte. And this was some good stuff. And then there's going to be a 10-woman tag tonight. About that. Liv accepts. Oh dear. RK Bro, we get a recap of RK Bro last week, where Riddle was dressing up as Orton and he faced against Dolph Ziggler and won. Because Dolph Ziggler won a match in 2021 when it meant something. And then, Orton and Riddle are backstage, and Orton's wondering why the hell would I want to dress up like you? Like Riddle, I know you dressed up as me, but why would I dress up as you? And then Riddle says, close your eyes, look deep into your soul. So how does that Slayer song go again? I forgot. Anyways, Riddle puts a wig on Orton. Orton says, you have 2 seconds to put this thing off me. Okay, who did this benefit? No one! Let's move on. RK Bro versus Dirty Dogs, aka Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler. RKO to Ziggler, 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is for tag titles, by the way, if anyone cared. Yeah, RKO to Ziggler, match over. Okay, match wasn't bad, but just didn't care about it. Anyways, Rollins and Owens are backstage, and Owens is saying if he wins, he's going to be added to the title match at day one. Okay, Edge doesn't believe him. Or Rollins doesn't believe him, actually. Speaking of Edge is here. Pierce and Rollins are backstage saying, Owens said he talked to Pierce about it, and then Pierce is like, no, I didn't say anything about that. And then DeVille is like wondering what's going on. She's like, oh, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. Anyways, Edge is in the ring. He's mentioning, having some good matches and saying, have a lot left on the plate. Mentions Big E, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. All of a sudden, The Miz and Maurice show up. with Miz on Dancing with the Stars that'll make Miz's dancing, that'll make white people say that's a little bit much there, mate. And then, Edge is, Miz saying he's revolutionized dancing, and Edge said, didn't you get 9th place or something like that? And Maurice is going to be on Raw. We are doomed. The women's division is now doomed. Considering that we have Zelina and Carmella, that is saying something. Miz talking about Mania 27 when Edge was a curtain jerk. He main evented against John Cena and he won. This was some good stuff. I think this was one of the best promos that Edge and Miz have done, honestly. Edge mentions AEW because last week Punk and MJF were having one of the best promos I've ever seen in my life. And Punk mentioned that MJF looks like a less memorable Miz, which is one of the best lines ever. And Edge kind of brings it up here in a little bit. It's funny whenever Edge tried to look into Miz's eyes, Miz's glasses were reflecting off, and we just see Edge's face. I thought that was pretty funny. And Miz says, "If you want to tangle, let's tangle." No, and I like how he was just trying to do this because the jacket wasn't, because the zipper kept messing up. I thought that was funny. As the end game, we're going to have Miz and Maurice versus Beth Phoenix and Edge at Mania. I'm willing to bet that's going to be the end game. But Edge versus Miz wouldn't be bad, but if you would have done the same thing 10 years ago, it wouldn't have made any difference. Anyways, we get a recap of Omos versus Montez Ford, and Omos had a fire extinguisher to the face, cause of reasons, and then so did AJ Styles. Omos and Styles were backstage. Styles' glasses, he got blinded. He got blinded by the light. He just got blinded by a fire extinguisher, and Omos is standing around what the hell are you doing, mate? Then we get Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. Will this feud ever die? No one will know. Omos and Styles show up, and Styles is trying to do dumb comedy, and this was boring. This was not good. This wasn't interesting. Frog Splash to Gable, 1, 2, 3. The commentary was atrocious throughout the night. Styles trying to interfere. And he faked it. Pretends to be shocked. And Omos is like, what the hell are you doing? Vince and Theory are backstage. Expect the unexpected, pal. 24/7 shenanigans last week. Dana Brooke won the 24/7 title. That is the only championship she has won in WWE. She's been in WWE for what? 6 years at this point? Yeah, that kind of explains a lot of things. Anyways, Dana and Reggie are backstage just talking. Then we get Apollo Crews versus Damian Priest. Apollo Crews with Commander Aziz. Light with the Nigerian no. U.S. title match. It was fine. I wasn't against it. I don't know what they're doing with Damian Priest, where Damian's the devil and Priest is the angel. I don't know if they're trying to go for something from the Omen type shit here, but their guess is as good as mine. Aziz attacked Priest, and Aziz gets kicked out. And then Priest kills all crazy. Oh no, he's gone insane. He beats the shit out of Cruz, South of Heaven, then the Reckoning, 1, 2, 3. Okay, match wasn't bad. Just kind of there. Then we get Rollins, DeVille, and Pierce are backstage. Rollins got lied to, but Pierce said he didn't lie. Then we get a Mysterios versus the Hurt Business. It goes on for a little bit. 619, 1, 2, 3, and the Mysterios win. If you're wondering why I'm skipping through this, is because there wasn't a lot to this show. Then we get the aforementioned 10-woman tag that talked about. But before that, we got a recap of the Thanksgiving before, or the SmackDown after Thanksgiving, because the show had nothing going for it. Oh, Brock Lesnar's suspension has now been lifted, and Sami Zayn won a Black Friday Battle Royal, and he's going to be facing Roman? At some point, I highly doubt, considering Brock Lesnar's suspension is now lifted. Okay. So then on Team Liv, we have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, my goodness, Rhea Ripley, Nikki Cross, and Dana Brooke versus Becky Lynch, Zelina Vega, Carmella, Piper, hot damn, and Tamina. This was a mess. This went through what, 3 commercial breaks, I believe? This went for about 10 minutes, and I felt like 10 minutes of my life just passed. Nothing against the, people involved, well, maybe except for probably 4, Zelina, Carmella, and Tamina, and Brooke. Well, the Carmella's the only bad one, and Tamina's not any good either, but at least she tries. Carmella's just there to be a set piece just for Corey Graves to bang. This was a mess. I mean, it was awkward at some points. Carmella's wearing that stupid ass mask that Slipknot would say that's not accessible. Piper looking goddamn gorgeous as always. Liv Morgan looks pretty hot too, I ain't gonna lie. But again, this was a mess. Everyone looked out of place. There was no coordination. And again, oblivion to Tamina 1, 2, 3 because of course Tamina takes the pin. And then just a fight breaks out. Bianca with a spine buster to Piper. That's that's impressive right there. Manhandle slam to Bianca, but in oblivion to Becky. They're going to be having a Raw Women's title match next week. Why next week? Why not save it to the pay-per-view? Because ratings. Anyways, Vince and Theory are backstage. Expect the unexpected, pal. That's literally the main theme of that whole shebang. Then we get a Veer vignette. The Vignette, if you will. Then we get a Lashley vignette. How the hell does he still look the same after 30 years? I will never understand. Seriously. This dude can be in his 70s and he can still look the same as he is today. Genetics are a thing. But, it talks about how he went to the Air Force and he was an NCAA wrestling champion. And Lashley is improved visually, if I may add. Big E's backstage. He fears no one. He fears no Kevins. He's talking to Kevin Patrick. And, are you worried about you losing your match tonight? No. Vince and Theory are backstage. We're getting ready to leave. Vince slaps him. Hopefully just for a few reasons and not with Austin Theory looks on his phone, if you know what I mean. Big E versus Kevin Owens. Rollins comes down. He's on commentary. Match was fine. Again, matches weren't terrible. They were just there for most of the point. We get a DDT on Steps. We got some pretty good stuff here. We get a superplex. Owens trying to bait in Seth Rollins in order to attack him. Super kicks. Big E hitting that splash on the apron. Why? You're going to hurt yourself. Rollins... What the hell is Rollins wearing? I'm curious as to what's in his wardrobe, but at the same time, I don't want to. But in the end, Owens attacks Rollins, and Rollins attacks Owens, and we get a DQ. Then we get a stomp to Big E, and Rollins got tricked. It's gonna be a triple threat day 1, and that's your show. This is the first time I ever viewed Raw in a little bit. And every time I'm usually off on Mondays, either A, hang out with a friend, or B, don't even bother watching the show because it's absolute dog shit. This show had its moments, but it's still dog shit because it's Raw. So anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought about this episode of Monday Night Raw. Again, like, comment, subscribe, join the herd. I'll talk to you guys next video. Peace out.